Hi guys, and welcome back to the Storytime Society, or wait, welcome to? No, yeah, I don't know what I usually say, I kind of just forgot, but it's so good to see you guys. Sometimes I feel like I really know you guys, when you guys comment, I'm like, oh my god, that's so sweet of my friend to say that, and then I'm like, wait, I've literally never met you, but it still feels like we're friends. And sometimes, someone commented something today, and it was just, so sweet. And I almost cried. No, I did cry a little. I, choked up a little, and I was, tearing up, and then, a tear fell from my face, and I was like, wait, why am I crying right now? And it was just so sweet, and I was just like, am I okay? Am I, having parasocial relationships right now? Because I already have those with, people that I see on the internet, and now it's I have them with you guys, but I feel like we talk in the comments enough to we can consider each other internet friends, right? Even though I feel like I don't know what a lot of you guys look like, which doesn't matter at all, but on YouTube it's so weird because it's not like other social media platforms where you can go and see what someone's kind of a little bit on social media, like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, which I don't really use that anymore, but also I feel like this is gonna get in my way of my arm every single time. But yeah, so it's it's interesting because it's oh, I have these relationships with people that I don't even know what they look like. But it'd be fun if we could all FaceTime and see each other, what we look like. That'd be so fun. I was also going to say something else, but I forget. Oh, I have my coffee today, but I just have a little bit left from the morning time that I reheated. And it's usually not as good when it's reheated and it has this film over it, but today it doesn't, thank God. It's also a stormy day out today. And I've been needing to go to the store and get, if you guys know, you know, on TikTok, the guy that slices his cucumbers into a little Tupperware, and then he puts all these ingredients in it and shakes it up. And I've been craving that. If I don't get that in my mouth soon, I'm going to have a heart attack. I've literally yesterday asked my boyfriend, I was like, can we go on a cucumber salad diet for the next 30 days? Can I just try every single cucumber recipe that this man puts out? I really need it. So that's what I'll be doing after I film this episode, because if I don't get my hands on it soon, something bad will happen. And I can just feel it in my bones. I feel a lot better. I do feel still a little bit sick, but I thought that it was probably going to get worse from yesterday and the day before, but it's definitely getting better. I went to hot yoga yesterday with my friend Sam, and it was really good. It was a really light yoga class, but I used to be an avid hot yogi. See, you can tell I need to brush up on my terms. But that was in college, which was probably the last time was when I was a junior in college was probably the last time that I went, and I would go. I went every day for months, and that was in 2019, I think, or 2018. I'm not sure, one of the two. And so when I went yesterday, it was only 85 degrees, which usually it's 100, 105 for the harder ones. And this one was a restore, so it was more stretching. It wasn't anything crazy. But the beginning, there was light workout, in goddess pose and chair pose, doing a little bit of pulses. When I tell you I'm sore from that, and I'm so embarrassed to admit that, but I haven't worked out in so long, and I used to work out all the time. But obviously, as you guys know, I have eating and just every problem in the book about my body and body image issues. And so I try to be a little, because once I start something having to do with my body, on a diet, tracking calories, eating less, or working out, I start becoming obsessed with like, it's so hard for me to look at it in a healthy way. It's so hard for me to be like, okay, I'm eating this way to nourish my body, or I'm going to work out to nourish my body. Like, it's really hard for me to look at it that way, because once I start and once I like get into a habit of it, I start like obsessing over losing weight, and then I keep looking at myself in the mirror and taking pictures of how I look so I can do like a before and after, and I never can just like focus on doing it for myself and like my own health. It's always for negative reasons, and as much as I would like to say that I can like change that mindset, it's really hard for me to do. So I didn't really work out for like a while, because I was just letting myself, like, I'll go on walks once in a while, but like sometimes I just want to let myself like not get into that habit again, to be like, you have to do this because you need to look like this and blah 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 blah. And so I just try to be like kind with myself, even if that means not working out for a few months at a time. Like, it's hard to explain to other people that don't understand, but I'm sure a lot of you understand, because it's definitely a very common thing. But like, for example, explaining it to my boyfriend, it's so hard, because he's like, you haven't, like, if I haven't worked out in a few months, and it's not like he's saying like, oh, you're fat, you need to go to the gym. It's more like he wants me to be healthy, like for my own self, so that like I don't die early, basically. And yesterday he was saying like, when you don't work out, when you're super sedentary, then you're like, what is it? Mortality rate or something or whatever goes up by 50%, and you like are gonna die early. And I was like, sir, I haven't worked out for a few months. It's not like I haven't worked out for 10 years. I was like, it's gonna be okay, but like it's hard to explain. And I do explain a lot to him, and like he tries to understand, but it's something that you'll never truly understand unless you actually deal with something like that yourself. And like some people think, like, he'll be like, oh yeah, well I also like want to lose weight and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand like the mindset that I get in when I force myself to do these things. Like, it will spiral down the wrong tube. I don't know. But yeah, so that's my little rant of the day. I feel like I feel like very often it has to do with body image issues, but that's just something that I've been struggling with for so long. For probably, honestly, I could probably say now more than half of my life, it's been something that I've struggled with, but it's definitely gone up and down, and there's been really bad moments and way better moments, and then I like click back into this thing where I'm like, wait, I haven't been caring. Why haven't I been caring? Oh my God. And then and then I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, I look like shit because I haven't been caring. Like, yeah, I don't even know. I don't want to project that onto you guys. I'm like starting to get too deep into it, and I want to project it onto anyone, because obviously that can be very triggering. But that's just how I feel, and I just wanted to explain that to you guys, because I'm sure a lot of you can relate. But we're doing this together. We're working on it together. I'm trying to be in a more healthy mindset and not be a crazy little bitch. So anyways, let's get started, because I think we have some good stories today. I never really know. Well, actually, now I do. Actually, two different people reposted, cross-posted something in the subreddit, which, if you're not already a member, the link is below to join our subreddit. And I would love for you to cross-post, copy and paste, tell your own stories, like interact as much as you possibly can if you want to. Obviously, no pressure, but it's really fun. I really want to start like something, I don't know what to start, but like maybe like a Discord or something. Obviously like a free, like something free that like we can chat on or something. But I don't really know how to use Discord. Like, I've tried to make a Discord before and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I feel like my grandma on Facebook. Like, I have no idea what's happening. I don't know how to use this. Why am I literally 95 years old and I don't know how to use this platform? So if anyone has any tips with that, let me know, because I'd love to like be more of a community together and like be able to chat with you guys more other than just in comments, and like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Let me know. But we're going to start off with, actually, we're going to go with this one that someone reposted. I keep getting text messages and I'm like, who are you? What are you doing? Oh, okay. My mom is also feeling sick, so she was just texting me about her feeling sick. But I'm also going to take a sip, so close your ears. Okay. Ready? Am I the asshole for telling my mom to remove/change a tattoo? I, 17, female to male, am trans and came out to my family a few months ago. All in all, everyone has been supportive. Although I believe my mom was a tiny bit bummed, she said she would always support me though. She just needs time to process all of this, which is honestly painful, but not the reason why I'm here. My mom got a tattoo with my sister's name and my dead name after I was born. It's a huge tattoo with a unique design that incorporates her and my dead name. It covers most of her arm, and she's really proud of it because my old sister designed it and gifted it to her for her birthday. Obviously, constantly seeing my dead name is kind of triggering to me. Therefore, I told her she needs to remove it. She seemed shocked and told me she's too old for longer tattoo sessions. She hasn't gotten a tattoo in years because of that. She also was diagnosed with depression and such and uses it as an excuse for not having the energy to change it anymore. I don't really believe her, but whatever. Now she's often trying to cover it up with clothes, but I feel like it's not enough. Just the knowledge that that name is still there, it haunts me, but she refuses to change it. We had a lot of fights because of it, and she said that she's really trying to hide it, but it's a part of her body that she is in love with because there is so much history and love for her children in that tattoo. I can't really relate because I don't have any particular significant tattoos. Now, my birthday was a few days ago, and some family came over, and the issue came up because my cousin was showing off her new tattoo, and someone asked about the dead name tattoo. My mom got uncomfortably silent and excused herself and went to the kitchen. So everyone started asking me what that was about, and I told them that I wanted her to remove the tattoo, but she doesn't want to. My sister also doesn't want her to because she believes it would look really awful since the entire design is attached to the names, and the only way to cover it would be to just make her entire arm black. Anyway, I didn't actually plan for that reaction, but my cousin, who can relate because she's queer, for some reason got furious and went after my mom and screamed at her for being so unsupportive and accused her of being transphobic, which I don't believe, although it was nice to see someone get angry about the tattoo because my cousin was finally saying some things I was feeling, but I didn't want to put into words. My mom then had a panic attack and left the house. She is now staying with my grandpa, and my dad and my sister are angry at me for making some of my family gang up on her. Am I the asshole? Edit, I read most of your comments and I tried apologizing to my mom, but she's currently no contact. There's more stuff happening, especially with my cousin, but I don't know how updating works. I'll try to post one once I figure out how. P.S. I showed this to my sister as well, and she wants me to say thanks to you all, and she wholeheartedly agrees with everyone who says that I'm the asshole. I understand, I definitely understand where he's coming from. Because I get how that can be, obviously that's triggering, and I totally understand that. I get that 100%. But, it seems like this tattoo is really large. I'm thinking, if it was, a tiny little tattoo, which, honestly, that wouldn't even be worth getting removed, to be honest. But, if it were and he still wanted her to remove it, then I would be like, okay, well, if it's just, a little, it's a little dainty tattoo or something. I don't know. Then, that's fine. But it does seem like it's, a large tattoo. Oh, I'm going to make sure you guys can't see my coochie. It does seem like it's a large tattoo, and it's, also, the reasons that she gave do sound valid. I don't think that, she's not being intentionally malicious about it. She's not no, I'm going to keep it because I still see you as this. And from what I can see, she's very accepting of you. And she loves you. And I don't think that she's being, any sort of way about it. She obviously is trying to cover it up for you too, which that in itself should show you that she's trying to make an effort because she knows that it makes you uncomfortable, and I'm sure she feels bad about it, she doesn't want you to feel terrible about that, and you can really tell that, and you can tell too, she really loves that tattoo because there's history with it. She loves you, there's you know, it has meaning to her. And I feel like it definitely is a little bit selfish to ask her to just get rid of it. Just like it's such a big like, because obviously what you're going through is a huge thing, and like there's a lot of stuff that you have to go through being transgender, and that's just like the one thing that's like an easier thing to do. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but like I feel like when you change your name, like it's very symbolic, and from what I know, that's probably like one of the easier things to do when you transition in from male to female, or female to male, is like getting your driver's license changed, or changing your name. I guess it would be changing your name first, and then you would get your driver's license changed. But because then everything else is like very much medical, and like the hormones of it all, and however you choose to go through with your transition. So I understand that like the name is definitely, it's a huge thing, and obviously it's very disrespectful to call someone by that name, which it doesn't seem like she's doing. So I don't know, it's just hard. I feel like there's definitely, she's trying to compromise, I feel like, and you're still like getting extremely upset with her, and you're saying like it's not enough that you're trying to hide it. But like, why is it not enough that she's trying to hide it? Like, she's obviously showing some type of effort, like I said. So it's definitely hard because she clearly feels bad about it, and I do feel bad for the mom. Like, she had a panic attack and left the house because she's so upset, and like she's saying she's too old to go through any type of tattoo session like that, which is why she doesn't even get tattoos in the first place. So I don't know. I want to see like what other people are saying, because obviously I have never gone through something like this, so it's really hard. I can't fully relate, although I try to empathize as much as possible. I could never understand how that would affect me, because I just simply have never gone through something like that. So it is going to be nice to read what other people are saying, so I can get some insight about maybe more people that are more educated on the topic. Okay, so the top comment says, I get it, I really do. I've had severe gender dysphoria for longer than you've been alive, and I understand how upsetting seeing the tattoo is, but your mom isn't being transphobic. She isn't flaunting the tattoo. In fact, she's trying her best through non-intrusive means to keep it covered so it won't upset you. And she isn't challenging your identity or dead naming you in your daily life. She supports who you are. Wait, also, not to mention that getting a tattoo removed is extremely painful and extremely expensive and very timely. It takes a long time and many sessions, especially if it's a bigger tattoo. So I wanted to add that as well, because that's just like another reason. The issue here is that you do not get to require another person to get what amounts to a painful semi-medical procedure on their body in order to satisfy your personal concerns or issues, no matter how real or serious those may be. You just don't. You do not get to demand that she alter her actual body for you. From the sound of it, your mother understands the seriousness of this. She isn't being hateful to you about it, as we often see on this sub, or shouting at you that this is the name she gave her baby. I suspect that if she could go back in time and undo it, she might, but she can't. What she's telling you is that she will not spend hundreds of dollars and go through a great deal of physical pain in order to have it removed or covered. And that's fair. It's her body, and she's not saying no because she doesn't care about you or your identity. She's saying no because it's painful, intrusive, medically adjacent procedure that she feels she cannot cope with at this stage in her life. And that's as valid as your concerns are. I get why it bothers you, but she's trying to be sensitive and compromise, and you're not taking her bodily autonomy or the nuance here into consideration at all. Gentle, you're the asshole. I like that. That's very well worded. I agree with that. Okay. other comments that are responding to those. You're the asshole. I agree with this response completely. I feel really bad for your mom. She supports you in your transition, but you come across as demanding more than is reasonable. If she is accepting of your transition, then why is her tattoo being held against her? Why would you let anyone attack your mom like that? Not to mention that OP seems to think his mother's depression is an excuse. He's triggered, but also disregarding his mother's mental health. The dismissal of the mom's mental health bothered me too. It's almost as if the only mental health that matters is OP's. Obviously, OP is the only person in the world who matters. Nobody else's struggles matter. Didn't you know? Okay. I don't know if I like that. Didn't you know only transgender people suffer hardships when going through it? Everyone around them has a perfect life and should be willing to make sacrifices to accommodate their needs. Yes, I know this kind of mentality comes from a small but very vocal part of the transgender community, but honestly, they're making things worse. OP is still learning, though, so I agree with the gentle, you're the asshole. That attitude of transgender people does not help their cause. I realize they're struggling, but they have to realize that others around them still struggle too, both with the shift of reality that is caused by finding out a loved one is trans, as well as any other issues they have in their own lives. Not everything is about the trans person. You were being sarcastic? Yeah, I mean, I do understand what they're saying, because obviously, I've not dealt with this personally, but, I know that when family members or someone close to you comes out as transgender, it kind of feels like you're mourning that person or grieving that person that they were before. And so I understand that. I can imagine that, for example, if my dad were to come out as transgender and wanted to transition to female, I would obviously be supportive, but also at the same time, I understand it would definitely be hard for me, and I'm not gonna lie about that. It would be really hard to accept that, he's not gonna be that same person anymore. Obviously, I'd be happy for him that he's able to be what he wants to be and what he really feels like he is. I don't really know if I'm wording that right, but forgive me if I'm not. Obviously, I'd be so happy for him, because all I would want is for him to be happy. But at the same time, yeah, I do think that would be hard on me. I am not gonna lie about that. As much as I would love for him to be his true self, it would still be, you can't deny that would be hard. I mean, maybe for some people it wouldn't, but it just depends. I mean, also speaking as it's my dad, that's definitely a very prominent person in my life, so it would be a little bit more hard than to say if it was my cousin. If it was my cousin, I'd be it definitely wouldn't be, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? It would just be different. My dad is my dad. My cousin, I would be supportive, but I don't think I would feel a certain way, because I'm not super close with my cousins, so it would probably just feel like how I had a friend that transitioned from male to female, and I've been nothing but supportive and happy for her. I'm so glad, because she is now living her true self, or her true life, true self. I don't know what I'm saying. True life, true self? I don't know. Both. She's living both. And that's amazing for her, and I've been nothing but happy for her. But I never, I didn't feel like I was, losing someone or grieving someone in that case. I don't know if that makes sense, but that is how I feel. Okay. Here is another one that someone else shared to the subreddit, which we love. Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my sister she isn't the type of person I want my daughters to look up to? My sister and I are complete opposite. My sister doesn't have many accomplishments, and the last thing I remember her achieving is graduating high school. At 20, she dropped out of college because she was pregnant. She moved in with the father, and for 10 years, they were a family. All that time, she didn't have a job, even when her son started school. Those two never married, and he left her about 2 years ago. She's now pregnant again. The new dad isn't involved, works at a fast food restaurant, and barely scraps by. She is constantly asking for money. She actually wanted to move in with me and my kids. My wife travels a lot. I have 2 daughters, and my sister told me she wanted to be closer. She wanted to move into my home. That it would be good for the girls to have women they can look up to. She never liked that my wife travels. This isn't the first time that she's brought it up, and I've turned her down politely many times. My sister brought it up again last night. I told her no. This resulted in a heated conversation with her asking why. I decided to be honest, and I told her that she isn't the type of woman I want my kids to look up to. I also listed the reasons above. She called me a jerk. The family is now on my ass about this, saying I was heartless to tell her that. They also want me to apologize. Am I the asshole? Okay. I'm going to say my opinion without looking at the comments first so I can process. This is how I feel. I understand if you don't want your sister to live with you, that's totally fine. She should probably stop asking out of respect, because obviously if you say no multiple times, you don't want her to live with you. And she should respect that decision. But then on the other hand, I think you could have gone about it. For me, I would want to say something. If she's kind of like, from what I gathered, she's kind of putting down the wife for traveling. And obviously, if she's putting down your partner, someone that you love, and trying to like lift herself up at the same time, I feel like, making her seem like she's like better than the mom. I don't know. But I understand saying that maybe out of like anger. You're like, okay, what the fuck are you saying? Like, I'm going to say this and snap back at you to make you mad. Like when I was like 10 and my brother would say something mean to me, and then I'd be like, well, you're fat. So, which is really not nice at all. And I obviously wouldn't do that now at 26 years old. But yes, I used to say that. But, you know, he probably deserved it at the time, because he was probably being an asshole to me. And I would only say that because I would react. Like, I'd get so heated and I'd be like, what can I say to like hurt his feelings right now? Okay, well, you're fat. I don't know if I ever said he's ugly. I might have said you're fat and ugly. But I know that I definitely said he was fat. He was a chunkier kid. And I'm so sorry if I had anything to do with his trauma about being heavier, because maybe that's why I have problems. Maybe that's why I have body image problems. Karma. Because I was calling my brother fat. So rude of me. But anyways, that's what I'm like kind of relating this back to, is like you felt upset about what your sister was saying. So then you're like, you're not the type of kids that I want. You're not the type of woman that I want my kids to look up to. And then yeah, I don't know. That's how I feel. So I definitely think that as an adult, you could have went about it in a better way. You could still stick up for your wife, but also be civil about it instead of making her feel like shit about herself, because I'm sure she already doesn't feel that great about herself, having to always ask for stuff and ask for money and stuff. So I can only imagine. But that's how I feel. Like, I don't think he's 100% the asshole, but I also don't think that he's not the asshole, because how he said it and how he worded it definitely was hurtful, and he was kind of being a jerk. Okay. The top comment says, ultimately not the asshole. You could be polite but still firm. If she's insisting on moving in, something must be going on for her. OP said, I truly wish she would have just dropped it the first few times I turned her down. And then someone said, she pushed until she got the answer she didn't want to hear. Not the asshole. It sounds like she just wants to leech off of you and force you to support her continual bad decisions. Hard pass. Seriously, because she was throwing a dig at OP's wife, so what did she expect? OP isn't a single dad out here with motherless children whose daughter needs a womanly presence in their lives. They have a mother in the house who happens to have a job requiring travel. Sounds like she's jealous of Mrs. OP's job since she works fast food. Regardless of the being an example part, she couldn't move in because she'd probably make digs to and about Mrs. OP in her own home, not the asshole. Yeah. I understand and I agree. But just at the same time, it's like, obviously, if you were wanting to know how I would correct that situation, that's what I would do. But, I mean, it happened, and she wasn't right to say that stuff about your wife or, like, make digs at her, and you also weren't right to respond in that, like, rude of a way, in my opinion. Okay. Oh my gosh. Wait, is this one deleted? No. Wait, no. I really wanted to read this. Oh my god, I'm stressed. The title is My Wife Confessed to Cheating on Me After I Donated a Kidney to Her. But it's mother effing deleted. And I know someone said that there's like a place where you can find deleted posts, but I don't know what that place is, so I cannot do it. Find it. Okay. Next story. Like, has been cleaning himself for 30 minutes now. Can you see Mrs.? Hello? Why are you sleeping so hard? You just witnessed me live thinking my cat was dead. Why are you sleeping like that? Are you okay? She's like so skinny, but like she's not super skinny. Like she was fine when we took her to the vet. She's like almost 9 pounds, and she just doesn't like to eat that much, but sometimes I'm worried for her because I just want to fatten her up a little. But she's alive, thank God. Sometimes she sleeps so deep, and I think I've told you guys that before, that I literally think she's dead because I just tried to move her and she didn't move until like my 5th boop. She's so cute. I love that little girl. Alright. Is this an update? Yeah, so we're going to go back to the original post. Okay. My married coworker wanted me to sleep with her. She's already kissed me at work. Is it best to quit? Tell the husband. Why me? Let me start by saying, yes, I'm an idiot, and yes, I'm dense, but I really need some advice. I moved to a new location at work a few years ago. I had just broken up with my fiance because she cheated after 4 years and married the guy a few months after we broke up. So I was in a pretty shitty headspace. I made a connection with one of the women on the sales team, and I was one of her primary service people. Whatever customers she sold or did business, I did her installs and repairs. We gelled pretty well and got along. She was a nice woman with a husband and some kids. We had already built some rapport talking about issues with work, her boss, and the customers. She told me about some of her issues with her husband and their families and some personal issues she was having. I figured she just wanted someone to talk to, so I listened. Then she started making comments that I should do my EOD paperwork near her so I didn't have to be alone and we could talk, which a few times she would ask me compatibility questions and then compared me to her husband. One night I was working alone in the upstairs office after my first day back from vacation. She came running up all giddy about something. She told me about some things that happened and asked about my vacation. She said she would like to stay in touch away from work because we were friends. I initially didn't see it as an issue, so we traded numbers. Then she lurked up and kissed me. She left blushing like a teenager and I was stunned. Now things have gotten out of hand. I thought if I just let things go and not acknowledged it, she'd take the hint. I know I should have said something, but she's been a little obsessive since then. She greets me at the door when I come in. She's made a big deal about me not answering her texts since I have nothing going on. She's tried to leave when I do to walk out into the parking lot together. She made up an emergency that she needed me to come over to her house on our day off to help with something in my skill set. I didn't pick up on it. I thought she really needed help. So I go over and I'm trying to fix what she's talking about, and she comes back out in just her bra and panties and said her husband and kids aren't home. Which, saved by the bell, the garage door started opening and she darted away. Her husband comes in and asks about what's the issue, and she comes back out in her normal clothes and acts like nothing happened. I said I needed a part, and it's easy. I wrote it down and said he can just plug and play with the part. I was just a deer in the headlights, and I didn't know what to do or say otherwise, so I left. What do I do? Also, I'm just curious if this can be answered. Does she want an affair in general, or does she just want an affair with me? By the way, my coworker knew I had recently been cheated on and was struggling, so I'm kind of shocked she did this. I'm kind of shocked she did this too. I mean, goddamn. Not this girl coming on so strong. Like, I think you can take the hint. Okay, top comments. I feel like you're still a bit traumatized from your last relationship, and that's why you're in this position. Pretty short and simple. Keep all the evidence, then let her know you aren't interested. At least I hope you're not. She's married. She started confiding in you about her marriage problems, kissed you, then started comparing you to her husband. Tops the cake by coming out in her undergarments, clearly looking to physically cheat. She's already been emotionally cheating. You could be one of the multiple affairs she's had. You could also be someone who she sees attractive and easily manipulated. Just get out. You're semi-consciously participating in her lewd behavior. This is like something that I would get myself in, because sometimes I find it, which I've gotten better at, like I've been trying to be better at, but like sometimes I'm just way, way, way too nice, and I'm not saying I'm the nicest person, but like to strangers, I always feel this like need to be nice, even if they're being like insane or like trying to like hit on me or something. Like, even if it's like, I used to be like nice to the guys at the gas station that would come up and be like, hey boo, or like, hey, I don't even know what hey cutie, I don't even know what they would say. Hey beautiful, can I pay for your gas? Like, stuff like that. I would be nice to them. Which now I'm like, and I hear like how my friends would react to that, which obviously now I know, but like, I would say a few years ago, I was like that. But now I'm definitely more like, I don't know, I don't like to say stuff to them, but I definitely am like skedaddling and not like responding. But like, I would be nice. I used to be nice to those people. And I feel like I would just get myself in that situation, because I'd just be like, oh, but like, I hate that. I'm so naive. But I would just be like, oh, but he's just like being nice. He just like, I feel really bad. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to tell him like I'm not interested, because I just would wish so bad that the signs that I was giving were clear enough to read, and I wouldn't have to like say that and be rude. I mean, obviously you don't have to be rude. You can say, it's not rude to just say, hey, I'm not interested. But for me, it's like, I feel so bad when I say stuff like that, which is the stupidest thing ever. Like, I shouldn't feel that way, but sometimes I just do, and I feel like I owe strangers like a kindness, even if they're pretty much being disrespectful. Like, that's pretty disrespectful to just like come up and be uncomfortably in your space and stuff. It really depends on the situation. Like, sometimes it'd be like a really scary, like, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of one of the situations, but like a little, like they looked like they were just like like, I don't know, they looked like they were kind of insane, like, and they would come, I think this happened like once, like he came up to me, this guy, and he just looked like he was like not right up here. He was just like kind of going a little crazy, and I just knew he was gonna like get aggressive with me, so I was like, no, stay back there please. And then I just got in my car and left, because one, I get afraid that if I'm mean to anyone like that, like someone that is obviously not right in their head at the time, I get so afraid that what was I gonna say? Oh, that they're gonna like knife me or shoot me or something. And I'm like, okay. So I don't want to be like super mean and be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Sometimes that's where my kindness comes from, is like fear, because I'm just like, oh God, this person looks like they could be capable of something very scary, and I don't want to be the victim of that. But that just got way too serious for this, because this is not, I mean, she's becoming obsessive, so maybe he would be scared. Because, like, what's that one case? Travis and Jodi Arias or whatever. When I watched that movie, which I'm sure is dramatized, but, like, when she became obsessed with him after he, like, wanted to break up and stuff, and then, obviously, you know how that ended. Rest in peace. But that kind of stuff definitely scares me. So, the reason we got here is because there was an update, and we definitely want to read the update and see what he said. Okay. Update. Married coworker, female 34, wanted me, male 26, to sleep with her. She's already kissed me at work. What do I do after she and I discussed the situation? My previous post has more details about what happened if you need to read it, only on the other post. I had a conversation with my coworker after an awkward visit to her house where she appeared in her bra and panties and told me her family wasn't home, which was a few weeks after she kissed me at work. I told her I didn't want to wreck her marriage. I was just recently cheated on, and this is just triggering all the hard feelings about that, and I didn't want to be like my ex. She said her marriage was basically for show and for the kids, which they literally go to events together, so that was odd to me. She admitted that she married him because she got pregnant. They wound up having 2 more kids, but she's miserable. Her husband's family hates her. Her stepdaughter despises her. I guess there was some dark time. Her husband was a raging alcoholic before they had another kid. This is very consistent from what my buddy and colleague told me. He said he's known her for 8 years. She has never talked about her husband, only her kids. He suspected that they stayed together because she got pregnant. He mentioned she began talking about me more than her kids or her husband, and she was getting agitated if I didn't answer her or if I didn't spend a lot of time near her. She already had tried to do our compatibility and compare me to her husband. She also brought up that I listen and understand her better before she pursued a physical affair. But it's becoming out of control. She kissed me at work. Always tries to catch me in the parking lot or get us alone. She is getting jealous if I'm talking to other females, clients, or coworkers. My female friends had taken a notice and made comments that she is possessive and jealous, and they're getting a funky vibe from her without knowing what's going on. A few clients gave funny looks when she's reacted to seeing me come in for the day. I stopped in to grab something before a few days off, and I was trying to be quick, and she texted me, "Were you here?" and didn't come say hi to me. I didn't know how to process all the information she gave to me and what I received. This is overwhelming to me. I'm still hurt from my last relationship, and it's just setting off so many things in my brain, and I can't make sense of anything. I saw her today, and she literally went running from where she was and skidded to a halt in front of me, and she was smiling super silly and just amped. She was so excited to talk to me. It had only been 2 days since we addressed what had happened at her house, and I said that I need a few days to process the information. Now what? Edit. I didn't sleep with her at any point. I mean, I don't think that you should quit your job. Like, you shouldn't feel like you have to quit your job because of this woman. But at the same time, it's like, it sounds like you're making excuses almost to be like, so she said this and this and this and this. So is it okay if I, like, end up talking to her because she's in a dark time, she doesn't like her husband, blah, blah, blah? Like, obviously not, because she's not in an open relationship. I mean, maybe if she just asks her husband if she can be in an open relationship or something, then okay, but it's not, that's not an excuse to cheat on your husband. None of these are excuses. Like, obviously, yeah, it sounds like you're in a toxic, not good relationship at all, but at the same time, it's like, but that doesn't mean that you can cheat on him. You should just leave him. And I know it's not that easy, but it's definitely not okay to cheat. So I would say, I don't know. You didn't give me any answers. You just said that you needed a few days to process the information. You didn't say what the information you processed was. You never said how you processed it. So I don't know what to tell you. Because it seems like you might want to actually pursue a relationship with this girl in a way. Or am I reading this wrong? Maybe I'm the problem. Okay, some top comments. Buddy, every single person trying to cheat is in a terrible marriage. Think with your big head. This, and remember, women cheat to get out of a relationship, so you would be stepdad. Seems OP is in such a dilemma. Why is he giving flirty vibes? 1, letting yourself be kissed. 2, by going to her house. I would never turn up at a colleague's house, especially of the other sex, unannounced. That itself would give bad reputation if anyone knows. 3, continuing on this relationship/friendship with her after she tried to have sex with you. If OP is still in a dilemma, and OP, you are reading this, just stay away from her. Totally not worth your time. She sounds manipulative already. Don't need to listen or hear her story there. Plenty of fish in the sea for both of you. OP states in their original post that their colleague asked them to come over. They didn't turn up unannounced. I can take back about unannounced, but going to their house after they tried to kiss/have sex with you, still a big no. Thinking he secretly likes the attention and wants something but doesn't want the mess that will come with it. That's what I'm feeling like. I feel like he secretly wants something, or like, I don't know. In a way, that's how it definitely seems, but because why are you in such a pickle about this? Just like, you're grown up. Why don't you just say, hey, please stop talking to me? Maybe you can go to your HR even about it and be like, hey, so this is very uncomfortable for me. But it seems like in a way you're trying to get people to justify you going through with like pursuing a relationship with her in a way. So, okay. Now, let's read this one. My throat was feeling a little. Okay. During our vacation in Vegas, I, 28 female, woke up at 2 a.m. to find my husband, 34 male, missing, his location off, and thousands in charges from a strip club on our bank account. Where to go from here? My husband and I booked a last-minute getaway to Vegas for a couple nights. We arrived yesterday. We had tickets to see a show last night, but after a long day of drinking in the heat, I wasn't feeling well and needed to end the night early. I encouraged my husband to still go so he could enjoy his evening, so he did, and I went to sleep. 2 a.m. rolls around, and I wake up to find that he never came back to the room. The show is literally at our hotel, so I start to panic. I go to check his location. It's off. Then I text him asking where he was. He reads it, and he doesn't respond. I call him several times, and he sends me to voicemail. While I was trying to get a hold of him, I see that there were 2 separate charges for $1,000 plus from a strip club. He didn't respond to me until nearly 3 a.m. and just texted that he was on his way back. 30 minutes later, he stumbles into the room absolutely obliterated. He tries to lie and say he was just gambling down the strip, that he never went to the strip club even though the charges were literally made with Apple Pay and he hadn't lost his phone. After going through his receipts, I found he'd been at the strip club for nearly 5 hours, essentially confirming that he went straight from the show and left 40 minutes after my first "Where are you?" text. I also checked all of our accounts, and if the charges made settles as they are, he'll have spent nearly $6,000 there. He swears he didn't cheat on me and says nothing sexual happened, though I can only imagine the situations you find yourself in after 5 hours in a strip club, especially when you're intoxicated beyond comprehension. I feel like I'll never truly know what happened, and that alone is the most painful part. We flew home a day early, and I just have no idea where to go from here. We've been together for 7 years, married for 4 years in just a couple months. As far as I was aware, we're in a great place in our marriage, and there haven't been any issues with infidelity in the past. This is completely out of character. I'm absolutely crushed and deeply disappointed. He was reckless with our money, with my trust, with our marriage, and it really effing hurts. The fact that we were on a solo trip together, and instead of coming back to me or doing literally anything else, he chose to go to a strip club. I would love any insight and advice from those who've gone through a similar thing with their partners. Thank you for reading. That is insane. Advice? Insight? One word. Divorce. Literally divorce. Are you kidding me? I've talked about this before, and before I'm even going to say anything about the strip club, first and foremost, spending $6,000. That would be the end of it for me. $1,000? Sorry, what? Even $1,000, I would be like, fuck no. Even $500. Unless we spoke about it before, and I was like, okay, this is your limit, $500. Which obviously they didn't. What the hell? So, oh my god, it's cold. I'm freezing right now. So, yeah, that would be enough for me, is the money part. And secondly, I don't even care what anyone says about this. So, okay. So, with my last relationship, how much time do I have? Because I've been yapping away. 11 minutes, wow. So, with my last relationship, which I always bring up, and it's like, okay, beat the dead horse again and again. But you guys are going to hear about it a lot because that's like the one thing that I have to relate to a lot of things because that was my toxic, terrible 4-year-long relationship. But I did not give a shit if he went to the strip club. I don't know why, but I didn't care at all. Probably because I didn't like him that much, to be honest. And I've been realizing that. But anyways, I did not care if he went to a strip club. But as I'm now like in a healthy relationship with someone that I love and that loves me the same and that like we meet each other's needs in every way, now I'm like, you better not even, like, the fact that you would even think about going to a strip club actually like hurts my feelings. Don't even think about it. Never even let that thought cross your brain. Because I just don't like how normalized strip clubs are. I don't like how normalized strip clubs are, and I don't like how normalized porn is, because I don't know about strip clubs, but I know that there's studies about porn being very bad for someone's brain, and I think I can say firsthand that I have experienced with guys the effects that watching porn like on the daily once a day for 5 minutes even affects your brain, and the way that you view sex with people in normal life, it skews your perception so much, and it is just not healthy at all. And I don't even have to do a fucking 5-page research paper to know that it skews your perception, because obviously, like, even just if I were to just look at, I don't know. I'm trying to compare it, but I can't think of what to compare it to. Like, even me on TikTok scrolling and seeing beautiful girl after beautiful girl after beautiful girl. I wouldn't normally see that in daily life, but it's skewing my perception so much to the point where it's like I look at myself in a less, like, attractive way because I'm like, oh, there's all these beautiful girls and I could be that pretty. But, like, if I were just normal and I wasn't scrolling on social media all the time, every day, and I wasn't seeing those things, I would probably see myself a lot more beautiful and a lot more pretty because I wasn't exposed to so many, like, beautiful people, which obviously nothing wrong with that. Like, you did nothing wrong. You're just beautiful. But, like, I definitely think that skews the way that you see yourself. And that's why we see, like, social media having such a hard effect on young people and the way that they view themselves. And I feel like in a way that does relate to porn, but I feel like porn is way, way worse because I'm sure some of those people do enjoy their career and they enjoy being in that industry. But a lot of people do not enjoy it, and it is so fake. And it's just like when you're watching like a romance movie and it's like, that is so not real. That is not how it is. And then you're like, oh, why isn't my life that great? Because no one's is. No one has background music playing to every scenario that they're in. And it's hard to realize that when you're watching the movie, because it's like, oh, well, they're real humans, and then you just feel like that's real life, but it's not. And that totally, to me, that applies to porn 100%. And I feel like, in a way, porn or strip clubs are almost real life like porn, but it's just not like, they're not fucking people on stage. Instead, they're just like stripping their booties and stuff, which, no hate to those people. That's how they make their money. But I just think it's so bad for our society, which I'm not perfect, and there's a lot of bad things for our society that I partake in. So I'm not saying anything like that, but personally, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone that goes to the strip club or thinks that it's okay to go to the strip club, because I don't see what you need to go to the strip club for. To get your rocks off? To get your penis wet, hard? I don't know. What do you want? Like, hello? Don't get it. Especially men, because of the way that they view women. Like, I genuinely, obviously, I'm not saying, like, I'm going to go to a male strip club. But I feel like if I were to go to a male strip club, it would be different. And I don't want to be, like, hypocritical or giving a double standard. But I just feel like the way that I look at, like, people in the opposite sex is so different than, like, guys. I feel like guys, they think, like, vagina, sex, orgasm. I don't know. They just think, like, they think in their head most of the time. Like, if you ask a man, like, how many times you think about sex during a day, a lot. Most of them are going to say, like, a lot in every single day. And I cannot say the same. I could go weeks without thinking about it. And I'd be like, oh, it's been a while, you know? So I just feel like it's different. And we cannot deny that. Like, we cannot deny that naturally men and women are different in that way, which doesn't go, I'm not saying that goes for every single man and every single woman, but I'm saying the majority of men and majority of women. You know what I'm saying? So, back to my point. Both of those things would be a no. Boo, tomatoes for me. And also, like, just getting obliterated at, like, your ripe age of 34 years old, you know what? I'm not going to be judgmental. I will probably get obliterated a couple times when I'm 34. But without your wife, like, by yourself, just getting obliterated, I just don't, that's not what I want in a partner. And it seems like she doesn't either. So I'm going to say all those things combined and separately would be a deal breaker for me. So, sorry. I don't know what your name is, but bye. Yeah. Goodbye. Goodbye, husband. You will now get to go and be a regular at the strip club because you will be divorced and you are literally the worst. And why are you lying? Why are you lying? Like, also turning your location off. That's a dead ringer. You're obviously so guilty that it's embarrassing. Like, first of all, anytime you turn your location off, unless you're trying to go buy me something and surprise me with it and you don't want me to see where you're going, I'm suspecting something is off. So if you don't come back with some present, some flowers, I don't know, and your location was off purposely, you can bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to be suspecting. And I'm going to be like, why would you turn your location off? It's not even like I'm always looking at my boyfriend's location, but I can tell you that if I was on vacation in Vegas and woke up at 2 a.m. and he still wasn't there, and I would be looking like, oh, where is he? And if his location was off, honestly, I would, ooh, my cat's feeder. Are you hungry? Honestly, I would lock him out of the room. I would be like, can you please change the key because I lost mine and someone's going to get in my room. Like, I would literally, he'd be sleeping on the streets, or he can go call a strip club friend and sleep at her house or something. I mean, he paid someone's rent for 3 months with all that money he spent. Okay, let's read some of the top comments. Ooh, my leg is literally going numb. Him turning his location off shows that he intended to hide it from her from the beginning. Don't know how he thought, yes, with my location off, she'll never know, but fully expected she'd ignore the $6,000+ that he spent at a strip club. Not to mention tried to gaslight her afterwards. I wonder how many times he has done similar things that she doesn't know about. Do couples really track each other? I just tell my wife where I'm going and she says, okay, have fun. We share our location only for safety reasons in my marriage. It's more of an in case something happens to you situation. I think a lot of couples do that. Yeah, I never look at where my boyfriend is because I don't have a reason to. I know where he is. Pretty much this. I don't look at it much, but it's a great peace of mind to make sure she got to where she's going and vice versa. This, I hate that people want to say it's toxic to share locations with your spouse or partner. There's a ton of valid reasons for doing this, and in my marriage, at least it's not because we don't trust each other. We have a 2-year-old and one on the way, so duh. One of my favorite location sharing jokes, though, is when my wife left her phone on top of the car and we drove off down a major highway. She didn't realize it was gone until hours later, and thanks to location sharing, my dad and I were able to pinpoint it and found it the next day. Actually, same. I also have my mom's, my sister's, and my best friend's locations on because it eases my anxiety. I have to get my brother-in-law's location as well since my sister just became pregnant. Yeah, I have a lot of people's locations. Well, not that many. I only have 2 minutes left, but I have, let's see. I have people's locations from high school that I don't even talk to anymore. But sometimes I like to see where they are. I have my mom's, my sister's, my best friend from high school. Wait, let me just actually count one. I don't have that many. I don't have like Sheena Shea amount. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. That's not that many people. But it's mostly for safety, and the others is just, oh wait, I don't have this girls anymore. I used to have this girls that I was friends with in high school, and now I don't. Did she unshare her location? That's so rude. Just kidding. I literally haven't talked to her in years. It's probably been like 7 years since I've talked to that girl. Okay. But anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe, comment below, like the video, share it with a friend or family that you think would like my videos, because we love having new society members come and join the party. But I'm going to go get some cucumbers, some cukes to make some salads because I need it in my body now. And I love you guys so much. Seriously. For real. Bye.